Hey guys, Coach Justin. I'm gonna be talking to you about your Thursday workout. This one is going to be a 21-minute EMOM, followed by a 5-minute block for an optional finisher for a total working time of 26 minutes. For the 21-minute EMOM, we have starting off, minute one is going to be a calorie row. That's where I would start your athletes off with the warm up. That's where I would spend a good portion of the teaching there, is on that row. And then as we go down from performance, fitness to apprentice, obviously the calories are going to be reduced. We're looking for your athletes to be able to finish this right around that 45-second mark. So if your athletes are pushing right up to the minute, we need to bump that calorie count back just a little bit, maybe down into the fitness or even the apprentice realm there. Minute two, your athletes are going to do 45 seconds max rep thrusters. For our performance track, it's going to be 135, 95. We're looking for your athletes to do something slightly heavier than what they would typically do for their thrusters. So for thrusters, we typically see 95, 65, most commonly associated with Fran. For today, we're bumping that up just a little bit. Minute three is going to be the rest period. That way they can go back onto the bike a little, or I'm sorry, back to the row a little bit, and then get right onto the max rep thrusters on the next round there. So all in all, we're looking for 7 rounds of that max rep thruster, 7 rounds of the calorie row, and then 7 full minutes of rest in this workout. Probably not going to feel like 7 minutes of rest if they're hitting those max rep thrusters aggressively there, but you are getting that full 7 minutes of rest there. So going into the max rep thrusters, we can start this thing off by working up some deadlifts, then some cleans, then some front squats, then some shoulder press, then the full thruster. Starting off with that clean, we just want to make sure that our athletes are in a good shape there so they can pull themselves up and under the bar. For some athletes, they might do a squat clean into that first rep. That's totally okay. For some athletes, as they get into those later rounds and their legs are burning a little bit, they may just hit that power clean, pause, and then go down into that front squat. So let's take care of both options there. We're going to start with the cleans. They can squat it, they can power it. Then we're going to work on some front squats, making sure that they're maintaining the proper position. After the front squats, we're going to press the bar overhead, get some shoulder press or some push press there. We want to make sure that our athletes are not breaking at the back here, that they're not arching aggressively. Instead, that they maintain that nice neutral spine. Butts and guts are all engaged, making sure that they're squeezing everything there. If that looks good, then we can move on to the actual thruster with the bar. And then we're going to have your athletes take some time here to build and load. We don't want them just to slap the 45s on the outside of the bar there and then start getting into reps. Instead, let's have them do a gradual build, maybe some 10s, maybe some 25s, some 35s, and then some 45s. We have the time for it today. Let's allow that time for our athletes to build up a little bit here for that thruster instead of just jumping right into that load there. During that rest period, I really want your athletes to do absolutely nothing, just focus on their breathing, slowing their heart rate down a little bit. We talk about box breathing a lot in my gym. So it'd be like a 3-second inhale, hold for 3 seconds, blow out for 3 seconds, hold out for 3 seconds. Now, that's like a box, right? For box breathing, typically, if you were just trying to be a little calmer, you would do like a 4 second or maybe even up to an 8 second box breathing. If you're breathing really hard in a Metcon, we found that 3 seconds is kind of the sweet spot, especially if you only have a minute to recover. That 3 second box breathing is going to be just enough to get that heart rate. And if you're really breathing hard here, you're not going to be able to hold for 4 to 8 seconds on any of those inhales, exhales. So that's what we found works. If you want to implement it in your gym, give it a shot. Next, we go into that optional finisher. It's going to be 3 sets of max rep Nordic curls. Now, if you need a reverse band, most of you will need a reverse band. Let's go ahead and use it. You're going to put that reverse band at the top of the pull-up bar. Partner A is going to do the Nordic curls, only moving at the knee joint. Partner B is going to be holding the feet. Only allow your athletes to go down as far as they can while executing that perfect position there. If needed, we can use, I personally like it, ab mats underneath the knees, so that way that you're not sitting on your knees and grinding back and forth there. After years of jumping out of airplanes and powerlifting, my knees aren't the greatest, so I personally like to have a little extra padding there. for my knees. So I would recommend that you offer that to your athletes so that they're not trying to hurry up and get out of that position just because their knees are uncomfortable there. We can get a lot of benefit from that Nordic curl with that reverse band. Even if it's only partial range of motion, they can still begin to really strengthen up those hamstrings there. So let's allow them to get as many reps as they can in their safe range of motion, then switch. We're going to go back and forth for 3 sets total. That's all we got for you guys on Thursday.